Don't even have to be an owl.
Hey, Fee. Let's see.
Hello, I'm Felicia Vereen, always known as Fee.
Hey, Fee, and I'm your girl, Sharita 3, better known as Fred.
And we are Inspire Her, the Total Woman Podcast, a new podcast all about uplifting you.
Yes.
Because friends, face it, you are awesome.
We'll be chatting up about topics we love to talk about. All the things we as women must juggle every day and the ish we complain about.
But who's listening?
Girl,
we'll chat about the struggle, the job, and about him. You know who we talking about.
Girl.
That boo, husband, boyfriend, ex, whatever you calling them today. Our lovely hellions, kids.
Our angels. But seriously, friends, life happens, and we don't always get a chance to talk about it. We take it on the chin and we keep it moving.
Because that's what we were told to do.
Yep.
But here on Inspire Her, the Total Woman Podcast with Red and Fee, we are the friends you love to hang out with. We are here to inspire her, the Total Woman.
Yeah. Why that never gets old to me. I love that intro.
Because we are not a new podcast anymore, guys. It's been a year. We are 1 year old.
Wow.
And guys, I'm going to get Sharita a sound machine for our birthday.
Yay! You know,
Listen,
I like
guys, we are 1 year old. Did you think we was going to be still doing it after a year?
No, but I enjoy doing it. I love doing it.
Like, no.
I mean,
you didn't think we were going to last a year?
I knew we were going to last a year. I can't believe it's been a year. Maybe that's what I meant to say. I can't believe it's been a year already. I guess when you like something that you enjoy, when you like something and you enjoy doing something, it's like, you don't really think about the time. You just do it.
Well, we got some things planned in 2023. We're gonna level up just a little bit more. See how we so.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
How you doing?
Can y'all hear me? Oh.
Hey, beautiful. How are you?
Hey.
Oh.
Hey, back at you.
Inspired.
What's
we
good?
Are here just chatting with the people, and we're happy to have you. We're gonna talk about some stuff that people need to know today.
For sure.
Yeah. It's still February. We still gotta have a Black History moment.
For some reason I feel like this February is taking a long time. Normally
I thought the same thing earlier.
Normally it flies by.
Like, wow, this February is going by pretty slow, but it's been good. It's been good.
The weather's been crazy. I was just telling Vitar that it's 80 degrees here in Richmond.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know, and tomorrow it'll be 50.
Exactly.
Well,
where are you, Felicia?
I'm in Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, okay.
I am, and the weather here is follows behind Florida. So I'm all
good. Okay.
I'm all good. So today we're going to talk about key steps to buying a home, and really I want to add on there in this market, because this market is crazy. I don't know I looked at my 401k. I wanted to cry. I want to scream out Lord Jesus at work today. Oh my God, what is going on? Like, are we in a recession yet? Are we in one, or are we headed to one?
Well, they keep saying that we are going into a recession. They don't want to say it because I think they don't want to panic everybody. So,
well, 401k told me I'm in a recession.
Wow.
I don't
like eggs and milk and groceries are. You feel like you're in a recession.
Everything seems to be overly expensive for no real reason.
Exactly. The pandemic, recouping some of that money from all those stimulus checks that everybody got, and all the rent stuff.
You know what? That's how they get it back.
Right. For 2 years they didn't get any money, so they're like, okay, y'all back to work now. Let me hit y'all in the pocket.
Yep.
You know what? it's, once you start putting things into perspective and thinking about it, all that time they were giving, well, I didn't get no money, but giving people money. But
I got one check for 35. Was it 35? Between 3,000 and 3,500, and they just sent that to me. I didn't even apply, so I'm like,
if you filed taxes and you were in a certain that first year, anybody got it, and then all the businesses they gave money. The halt on the student loans, so yeah, they need to recoup that money. But my thing is, you sending all that money to Ukraine, then you can help the folk over here. Like, why our stuff just ridiculous? But anyway, that's not why you're on here.
That's a whole nother. We could go on a whole nother tangent about that.
Right?
Let me do my Black History fact real quick. So did y'all know that the NAACP was founded on February 12th, 1909?
Oh.
I
did not know that.
And this is not Black history, but it's the centennial birth anniversary. It was a centennial anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birthday, because they claimed he did so much for us back then. They wanted to memorize.
When my Black history moment,
they wanted to memorialize him. Anyway, that's my Black history moment today.
But mine is Taya. Stop being silly. Taya T.T. Wallace was the first Black woman to sell $100 in food stamps for $50 in cash.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
I just thought that was funny.
You're supposed to take Black History Month, even though I'm Black every month.
Right. Every day of every month.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I guess I didn't know I needed to have one, but I guess I could pull one out. We had a meeting yesterday, a Zoom meeting, and we met the first Black realtor ever in the U.S.
Wow.
Yes.
How old are they?
I think he was about 70.
Wow.
And he is like still, he's not in real estate anymore. He does mortgages now, but he's still spry. He's still, has multiple businesses. And, he was just telling us about his experience. Like back then when he wanted to be an agent, you had to get somebody to sponsor you. Wow. And so since there were no Black realtors, he had to go to a white person to ask to be sponsored. And, he kept getting turned down. And he was raised by a white family. He was raised by a Jewish family. And so his dad spent $5,000 to give this white guy to have him sponsor him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to get a license.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that something?
That is something. It's like, really, well, it's amazing that he was able to come and talk to y'all and then give y'all some motivation.
Yeah, it was really nice to hear from him, and thanking him for paving the way, for being the first to be brave enough to even think about that.
Wow. Well, tell us a little bit about you and your business and how long you've been a realtor. We know Tara from way back, probably middle school. I know Tara since middle school.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about you, what you do, how long you've been a realtor.
Let's see. I got my license in 2006 when the market was good, really quickly, and then it went down like 2 years later.
In 2008, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and so I started as a buyer's agent.
That time.
Yeah, and it was kind of like it was about a year ago. It was kind of like that. And I started as a buyer's agent for another agent in the office. And after a few months, I could see that I didn't want to just be a buyer's agent because I wasn't making a lot of money. I was making some money, but I thought to myself, if I could do this for him, I could do this for me.
What is a buyer's agent?
Well, you don't work with buyers.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have a listing agent, the person who puts it on the market, and then if I have a buyer, then I'm the buyer's agent.
Gotcha.
Right. And so I was doing all that work for him and getting like 30% of the commission. I mean, granted, he would give me the lead to take out, but quickly I saw that I'm not going to be doing this for much longer, and decided to break away from him and start being a listing agent. Okay. So fast forward to 2023, sounds like a long time.
Yeah.
I've been in the business a long time. Some good years, some bad, not so good years, some very lean years. I remember one year, God, I think I only made like $15,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was married then, so.
You had your own firm, or
how did you work? How did you do that?
I was married. So, I mean, my money was just kind of like extra money, for vacations and stuff like that. But what was your question, Sharita?
I was asking you, do you work for a realtor agency, or are you your own independent agent?
So my agency is Keller Williams. Okay. That's where I hang my license. I don't have my broker's license, which is something that I'm toying around with getting, but I'm not too sure. So we'll see, because with that comes responsibilities of managing other agents and keeping them, active and making money. That's what a broker's job really is to do.
Okay. So what is the first thing that a buyer should do before moving forward with the process of purchasing a home?
Talk to a lender first. That should be the first step, because you can't buy a home until you know how much you can afford.
Okay.
So that's once you get that number and know what you need to do, whether it's fix your credit, pay down some debt to get a higher score. The lender is essentially the only person who can tell you that, unless working with cash, but then you don't have to have a lender. Right.
So if they do the reverse and they contact you first, do you have like a list of mortgage companies that you can refer them to?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've developed relationships with, different lenders. Some deal with people with, not so good credit to get them to be decent. And then I have those who are just A clients who come out the gate that have money and have the credit. So I might refer them to a different lender depending on what the needs are.
Is one more important than
Go ahead.
I was just asking, is one more important than the other? Like, is credit more important than having the money, or like having your down payment? You got good credit, you don't have the down payment, or you got the down payment but you don't have good credit?
You need them both. Honestly, need them both. Yeah, and I mean, and right now is a great time, because the focus is on first time home buyers now. And so Fannie and Freddie have come out with some really good programs for first-time home buyers to get that market moving. Those people were the ones that were affected the most in the last 2 years, who couldn't get into a home because they probably could get the loan, but they couldn't compete with people who had money to put down, or could go conventional versus FHA. So now the second-tier market is kind of slowed down. And the first-time home buyer market is what they're really focusing on now.
Right. Okay.
So what's the credit score now?
For a first-time home buyer? Well, it depends. So you could be anywhere from about a 580 to a 620.
Wow. Really?
If you're a first-time home buyer, yep, you sure can.
But are you going to get a higher interest rate?
No, because you typically, if you're a first-time home buyer, you're going to go FHA. And FHA is like it used to be 3.5%. Now they've reduced that to 3%.
Wow. The down payment is 3%.
3%.
Wow.
That's why I'm saying it's really the year for first-time home buyers, because they're really pushing, pushing for that, because those are the people who got left out and, were marginalized, that they couldn't play in last year's market. And so now, with not a lot of inventory, of course, there's not a lot of inventory, so you don't have as many buyers, looking to buy.
Wow. Can you explain the difference between a conventional and an FHA? I know the answers, but a lot of people might not. We know the answers, but our audience, they may not know.
So yeah, sure. FHA is a federally backed loan by Freddie and Fannie Mae. And so there are different parameters when you have an FHA loan. In terms of the property, it has to pass a FHA inspection separate from your regular home inspection. So there are certain things that the government want to make sure that you're not buying a piece of crap, like you got broken windows or, issues with your house because they don't want to fund a house and it's, falling down around your ears. So that's kind of the thing with FHA. And a lot of times sellers are a little squeamish about getting an FHA buyer to buy their home because of that reason, because the FHA inspector might come back and say, oh, you need to paint all these windows because the paint is chipping off, or you need to fix that hole in the wall. Sometimes properties might have a hole in the wall for whatever reason, but FHA won't allow that. And so for that reason, when FHA is attached to a property, a lot of people don't know this, that FHA number that goes along with your loan stays with that property for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
So if another, say somebody writes an offer and then they say, well, no, I'm not making those repairs, and that offer goes away, another FHA buyer comes along, they still have to make those same repairs because it's tied to that house.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So no matter what, if it's already documented in the FHA database that this property has this list of issues with it, they're not just going to sell it to the next person that may also have an FHA loan. Now, if a conventional person comes along, then they can buy it. But if another FHA person comes along, then they still have to take care of those issues.
Wow. We had a question. Candy said, hey, y'all, and they also provide down payment assistance, right? Do any of them offer down payment assistance with the first-time home buyers?
Yeah, so it depends on your income level and the amount of people in your house. So if it's 4 people living in a house, it's $80K. And you have to combine, not make more than $80K, and they give you $15,000 down payment assistance.
Oh, shoot, that's good.
If it's 2 people living in the house, it's $66K, and they give you $12,000 down payment assistance.
Wow. So is it still like a seller's market, or is more of a buyer's market now?
We're kind of right on the cusp right now. I mean, we still have longer days on market in terms of a seller property. So it's not it can flip really quickly depending on what the rates do. So the rates keep going. Yeah, so rates are kind of going down now. They've been seesawing the last couple of weeks. Right now, FHA is at 5.875.
Wow.
And and so conventional is more closer to 7%. So almost a whole percent more.
So that makes a huge difference in
It
what
does.
your mortgage payment is. I mean,
Right.
even over 30 years. So are the high interest rates, are they deterring people from wanting to buy?
Not really. I mean, because you got to think about it historically. I mean, rates have been they're still low. They're still low. I mean, we think they're higher because they've been in the 4s and 5s for, such a long time. Right. But, in the 80s and 70s, interest rates were 13, 15, 18%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we've been spoiled. I mean, I guess technically for a while because interest rates have been so low, and now that they've crept up a little bit, people think, oh my God, interest rates are so high. But they're relative to the whole, timeline that rates have been in existence, they're still fairly low.
I know during COVID, you could, because a ton of people around here were refinancing. 2%. Like it was
2%. Yeah. I had clients with 2% mortgages.
Wow.
I tell them now, do not refi. I mean, hold on to that property. Worst case scenario, pull money out because you probably got equity built into your house. If you want to do something else, buy something else, pull that equity out and keep that interest rate, on that property. So, and sometimes that rate is even transferable. So if that rate is a transferable rate and you want to sell it, somebody can qualify for your same rate, which makes your property more advantageous to them if they wanted to buy it.
Wow, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just ask the buyer, ask the seller, is their rate transferable?
Wow.
And as long as they can qualify for it, they can get it.
I know this is the first, I know we're talking about first time buyers, but if I buy something else, I guess I'll be a third time buyer. But
so a first time home buyer is anyone who hasn't owned a home in the last 3 years.
Oh, really?
So you can requalify as a first time buyer.
Right, but you can't have owned a house in the last 3 years.
Wow.
I didn't know that
Who
either.
knew that?
But once I own the house, at some point, I'm no longer a first time buyer.
Yeah.
Well, if you sell that house, right, and then you don't own anything for 3 years, now you're a first time home buyer again.
Wow.
I did not know that.
Me.
So now, if you are, and I just want to ask this quick question, we can go back to first time buyer. If you if you pull money out, I don't know, I've never pulled any money out of my equity. And so how does that work?
A refi?
Or HELOC, a home
credit. Or you could get a line of credit, equity line of credit, which is probably what if you have a good rate, you don't want to refinance that. You would want to get a line of credit to be able to use on your house. Now, people will try and get you to, lenders will try and get you to refi because that's where they make their money.
Yeah.
But if your rate is good, especially with the fluctuation of what rates are now, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. If you're looking to get equity out of your house, get that line of credit.
So are there areas? Yeah, right. Are there any areas that are hot right now that you see houses moving in the Richmond, Chesterfield, Henrico, Central area, Central Virginia area?
It just depends. It just kind of depends where it is. The fan for sure, because the fan is always in demand, so that moves really quickly. It depends on how far properties are away. If it's on the outskirts of the surrounding areas, they're not moving as quickly as they are to more centrally located closer to the city. And I mean, I won't say like Brandon, like Woodlake, like that area. Yes, that's really popular. So it depends on kind of like what the schools are too. So if they're good schools and it's not a lot of inventory, those go really quickly. Like I just listed a house. Well, originally listed last week. We took it off for 2 days. I put it back on the market today, and I got three requests for showings.
Oh wow!
So hopefully, one of those 3 showings will result in an offer or multiple offers. And that house was off Parham Road near Hungary, the Woodman Hermitage Road area. Yeah. So it just depends on where it is. And you got houses that are way out in, Spotsylvania and Louisa that, might sit longer because who wants to live out there?
Right.
So it just depends.
I know here in Savannah, we're a tourist town. And we're right by the water. And there's a lot of areas like in inner city Savannah that are and I hate to see it, but were Black neighborhoods, and now you see them coming in, and
gentrifying.
For houses that these people own, big, beautiful houses like the ones I grew up in Highland Park. And then slowly but surely, you'll see the houses, the people, they're not taking care of them. They're not, they're kind of like falling apart. And then somebody offers them some money and they don't.
That's where the market is kind of leading to right now, because there's not a lot of the move up buyer isn't really moving right now. So, and there's not a lot of property available because builders are behind on production. Like there was a time where about 10 years where builders weren't building because they didn't have the money to build. And so from 2006 to around 2002 to 2006, there was $4 million 4 million units undersold or not built. to keep up with the pace of, people moving, living, being born, dying, all that kind of stuff. So we're behind, and that's why we are where we are now in terms of not enough inventory for places for people to live. And it seems like the older population is trending toward moving into assisted living. So 10% of that market is going to be the market for this year. Split levels, they're coming back, tri-levels. Those are the houses that people are looking for multi-generational usage. So mom and dad can come in and live downstairs and y'all can live upstairs. And a lot of houses don't have that, floor plan. So they're going back to the old floor plans of the split levels and the tri levels. So I see a lot of older people selling, or their heirs or children now are selling those homes.
Well, here it seems like the condos and the townhomes are pretty popular too. Like they're building a lot, especially in this Midlothian area, and
everything you see new is probably a townhouse or going up.
Yep.
You don't see communities going out anymore because there's no more space. Like, where do you go and still be close to everything?
Right.
Right. Because people don't want to move way out. They want to be closer into but there's no land to build anything. So you're either tearing down old houses and rebuilding, which happens all the time in the city, or you're getting a condo or a townhouse because that's what's new. If you want new, that's what you have to do right now.
Right. So when people come to you, do they typically know what they want in a house, what they're looking for?
They have an idea. They don't have an idea of like square footage, but they know, they need 4 bedrooms. They would prefer 2.5 baths or whatever like that. And typically school systems drive where they want to be.
Right.
Makes sense. I know when I moved here, I rented a house first in the neighborhood, and then I rode around and finally I think I was stalking this one lady's house, but she wasn't, because she had a for sale sign up at first, and then after a while she took it down, and I think she decided to sell after I bought this house. But I noticed people are starting to call me, and I'm like, is this a scam or do people actually do this? Because they call all the time.
Because there's no inventory. That's why people are calling. They're trying to find properties to yes, and you're gonna get robocalls and everything just because they're trying to find people who want to sell their homes, and either they lived in them a long time and they can see where they can make some money because your information is public in terms of what you pay for the house, if you've refied it, all that kind of stuff. So they look and see if there's equity in your house and see if you want to sell without dealing with realtor, because once you sell it, if you put it on the open market, you're paying brokerage fees and things like that. So usually they come in and say, well, we can offer you this. If you were to put it on the market yourself, you would be paying a realtor X amount of dollars versus just selling to them directly.
Yeah, I get a lot of calls about that.
Yeah, I thought it was a scam. I mean, one guy we had, because our area now here in Savannah, they build it up so much. Well, actually, I live in Pooler by the airport, but they build it up so much I can literally walk to the outlet stores, restaurants. You can have a golf cart. I wish they would give us golf cart lanes because you can just drive a golf cart right to everything. And there was a one guy, he was walking around the neighborhood
asking, just knocking on the door, saying who want to sell.
Knocking on the door saying, my name is such and such. They were, I don't know if they were, I guess they were realtors, but they were, I don't know what you call them. Like they, wholesale buyers.
Wholesalers. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Lots of wholesalers.
I thought it was a scam, but my cousin lives around the street, and he said no. He sat down and talked to him just to see, what it was all about.
Right.
And it was legit.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, that's what I'm saying. We're behind. We're like those 4 million units that didn't get built during that time. We are so behind.
Wow.
Like we can't even catch up. We're so behind.
Wow.
And heaven forbid another pandemic come through, because it would decimate us, our economy, if that's the case.
I think so too. That's why they push so hard to get back out there. But Tara, what sets you apart from any other realtor? Like, why would I want to choose Tara as my realtor?
Well, because I'm awesome. Like, that's like a no-brainer. Like, no, but for real, I mean, for me, a lot of my clients become my friends, and so I only deal with people that I have good energy with, and that people refer me, people like them. Okay. So I feel like a lot of my people are in my sphere that are closer to me, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So we gravitate toward each other. And so they can see that, I have their best interests at heart. I'm going to tell them, a realistic picture. I don't fluff anything. I tell the truth. Every single thing that comes out of my mouth, because I don't want to come back later and someone says, well, you said this and you said that. No, remember when we sat down, this is what we talked about, and this is what I told you could expect. So some people don't believe that, and you just, I'm just real. I just tell it like it is. Whether I don't like people, not let them, but I caution them against spending more than what they probably should spend, because you don't want to be house broke.
A lot of people are house broke.
I know some people that's house broke, can't do nothing.
Do you think
exactly
this is going to catch up to people? Because they think that, okay, once it's crashed, a lot of people are going to be losing their homes. They got into this hot market and paid, with the bidding wars, they paid way more for their house than what it was worth.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to crash. You kind of referencing like 08.
Yeah, kind of. A lot of people are going to end up losing their homes because they got into these homes that were maybe worth less than what they paid for because people were bidding.
Right. A lot of the 08 stuff happened because people were getting a lot of junk loans and no doc loans, meaning that you didn't have to provide taxes, you didn't have to provide statements. It was just based on your credit. And if your credit score was good, they would give you almost anything you wanted. So, I feel like people did overpay last year. If they stay in their home long enough, then it'll eventually catch up. Right. Okay. Like if you think you want to sell in 3 years, no. 4 years, no. 5 years, no. So then I think that will be an issue if people try to get out of those quicker than what the market is, willing to catch up with. And so the market typically performs 4%, 4% growth year after year over year. So if you keep on that trend and don't refi, don't take money out, then your property should accrue value at 4% each year. So that's kind of like there's some quick math you can do, if you're in your house and you haven't done anything and you say, okay, well, 4% each year, how does my equity look? But if in 4 years, every year that you pay too much and you go, oh, well, I can't move this year because it ain't caught up yet.
Right.
So you just kind of have to do that quick math and see where you are every year at that 4%.
So if you're with a first time buyer, say me and you I picked you to be my real estate agent, and we go to a house and I really like the house, but you just see that it's, realtors can kind of see if something is poorly built or
shoddy work,
and it's listed with your agency. Are you going to tell the person, hey, I probably wouldn't buy this, or,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look for certain things. I mean, the big things like cracks in the foundation. Like you need to see what that looks like. And if I know that this crack means there are structural issues, I'm going to say this house might have structural issues. We might need to get an engineer to look at it to see what the stability is of the foundation. I mean, if you really like the house and you say, well, I really like the house. Okay, well, let's get an engineer in here, let them see if, there's anything that could compromise the integrity of the foundation. If they say all you need to do is run a steel beam, in this spot to support that, then that might be, a compromise for you that, okay, well, this has an issue. We can fix it because no house is perfect.
Yeah. But I
No
know
house is
they
perfect.
threw the whole neighborhood up in no time. And I was like, I wouldn't move in there to save my life.
What happened?
They threw this neighborhood up in no time.
Oh.
And they had a ton of, and they have they're not tiny houses, but they're smaller single family homes for lower income. And the whole neighborhood is. And they threw the houses up so quick. I was like,
well, sometimes that's all people, that's sometimes, unfortunately, all people can do to get a house. And if it's your first house, and if it's new construction, I mean, at least it's gonna last for the first 10 years.
Right.
yeah.
And you got your warranty. You got your home warranty that the builder's going to give you for at least 2 years, right? And then you can always get an extended warranty that will cover like your foundation, your roof, things like that in case they break. And that's like $500 a year for a home warranty. So that gives you a little bit peace of mind.
Last year they sued the builder.
Oh wow.
Falling apart.
Oh wow.
It was
so
crazy.
do you have a lot of first-time buyers that opt for a new build?
It's a lot of times that's the only way they can get a house, especially in the last market, because they couldn't compete with the resales. They couldn't go up 30,000. They couldn't waive inspection.
Right.
Those are things a first-time home buyer, I would not suggest that you waive an inspection, because most home buyers are just getting enough money together to get in the house. You don't want to have to get in the house, then you got to replace the HVAC system because you didn't know that it was on its last leg, or the roof is leaking and now you got to replace the roof because you used all your money to get in the house. So a new construction house in that sense would be the better deal for a first-time home buyer. And usually they can wait. Like, they usually stay with family or, something like that to save up money so they can get the house. So it's a better, a better option for them.
So you talked about being house poor, and we've heard that term before. How much of your annual salary, what percentage should be towards your mortgage? Like, how much of your annual salary should your mortgage be?
Well, the lenders will tell you can go up as high as 35%.
Really?
And
they growth. Wow.
35%.
Person, I wouldn't recommend that.
But a good rule of thumb is around 28%.
Okay.
Yeah, 28% of your income.
Okay, that's good to know. A lot of people are like, okay.
I'll get whatever you say I can get. If I can get 600, let me find a $600,000 house.
Right.
And so that was kind of the strategy that, unfortunately, a lot of us had to use. If, like, say someone was buying, they could afford 600, but they really wanted to stay around 525 or something like that. They would have to go up closer to the 600 that they were approved for to be able to get the house. So
it's not a lot out there now.
It's not.
Have about 5 homes, and then everything else is new construction.
New construction. So if you can wait, then that's kind of the way to go. And depending on where you want to be, new construction is the way to go. But then with supply chain issues, that has been a delay, right? Because you can't get all the products and things they need to build a house. So, we're slowly coming out of that, but there are still some supply chain issues.
So if it wasn't lumber, it may be
appliances. Appliances. Yep. Stoves weren't being put in because, like we just can't get a stove or can't get a dishwasher that holds up the process.
Okay.
We learned a lot living here because we're in a port city, so a lot of that stuff that these builders and stuff need comes on these ships through our city.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one of the captains came and spoke to some of our boys at my school, and he was telling them, you know, he it's like pilots. There's not enough pilots out there anymore. That's why people getting stuck and grounded. Well, these
Mm-hmm.
ships are being ported because they don't have enough captains out here that
Mm-hmm.
that want to drive whatever these ships. So you're not getting the stuff that you need, and then
Right.
that's creating it. They're backing up, so they're not creating enough stuff. Is what he was saying. And it's like this supply chain is crazy how this stuff happens.
It
And
is trickle down.
it is, and we had it was two ships, I think I heard. I don't know if it was here or Louisiana. And one had to wait out at sea because the one that came, um, it was something about some kind of, I don't know whether it was corona or something that they had on the ship that they couldn't take the stuff
Yeah.
off of the ship because
Oh
nobody
wow.
on the ship. So no other ships could come in. And it was
Wow.
crazy. Any one thing that happens can mess us up.
Right. But what my question is, what was happening before? Things didn't run perfectly, I'm sure, pre-COVID.
Right.
People weren't
So
concerned as much because everything has changed since COVID.
it has.
If you cough, people looking at you like, don't sneeze. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I sneezed at the Walmart the other day and the lady almost ran out the aisle. I was like, ma'am, it's not, I don't have anything. I think it's dust or something, something.
Right.
No, she almost ran out the aisle. I think she called me a name. I'm not sure.
Lord Jesus, she did too much. Now I will give you a side look, but I won't do all of that.
Right. It's just like cover your mouth, like
Exactly.
cover your mouth.
And
I
I'm
try
a,
not to be that person, but hey, are y'all still masking up?
I wear my
some
mask.
places, in some places,
Some places.
If I go in
Yeah.
stores and stuff, I'll definitely have it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still try to keep my distance from people.
I was in New York last week. There's no way you can be distant from anybody in New York. So I just was like, forget it. I was just out there with the billion people walking.
But now it's just like having a cold, or the cold now, especially if you've been vaccinated and stuff. So
Right.
yeah.
And it's like if you get it, you stay at home 5 days. If you have symptoms, if you don't have symptoms, wear a mask. Come
Right.
on.
Right.
Basically.
I'm like,
I will
wow.
wear it on a plane though. I just don't like the air on
Oh
the
yeah,
plane.
definitely. It's too close. They say it's a lot of circulation, but
And that circulating air, yeah.
yeah,
I wear it on the
I
plane.
read on the plane and train. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this has been great, Tara. Can you tell everybody how to reach you?
Oh, sure. You can reach me. Well, my cell is 804-317-5438. My website is yourperfectwayhome.com. And, you can contact me through my website or my Facebook page, Tara Kelley Real Estate.
Let me ask you one other question. Are you, like, for instance, if I'm here in Savannah and I'm looking at buying, maybe I want to buy some rental homes in Richmond. Are you the person to talk to about that as well?
Absolutely. I have buyer's agents. I have a team. It's me. I have 2 buyer's agents, a transaction coordinator, and a marketing director. So my buyer's agents typically work with my buyers, and I typically work with, sellers. But depending on, who's available, we all just jump in.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you manage rental properties? Do you manage rental properties?
I do, and I have a nice portfolio of properties that I manage, and I'm about to start my own property management company so that could go, to that person, and I don't have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah.
So right now I manage about 15 properties.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm here in Savannah. I don't know what's going on. I would need somebody to.
Right.
I'm looking at one house, and I'm gonna make that girl. I'm gonna make that girl move out my grandma's house.
Oh, good.
I'm a stalker, and I'm just joking. I didn't hear me say that.
Well, you recorded now.
On record. Yeah, it's on tape.
You did not hear me say that. I did not say that.
So do you have anything you want to share?
That I want to share. So my listing I put on the market. So it's pretty neat. Like I was telling you, the split level, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,000 square feet on about almost a whole acre.
Wow.
Just listed it for $399, $395.
That's cheap.
So yeah, so we're having not an open house, but I'm going to have a public unveiling Saturday. But I am taking private appointments prior to if someone really needed to see it before Saturday. So and then I have another one coming that's in the fan that's going to need a little bit of work. That one's going to be $325, and that's right in the Jackson Carver area.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a great location actually. I tried to get the person to keep it and rent it out as an Airbnb. I'm like, you can make more money. Like, he's like, no, I want to sell it. I'm like, I don't mind taking your money, but I'm trying to help you build generational wealth. Like, why would you sell this? But people don't listen.
People don't want to have to deal with what comes with all of that.
It is, yeah. Being a landlord can be a lot.
But your landlord, I just want to have a house and have you be a landlord and call me if something need to be fixed. That's
that's basically how
what I want. Call me if something needs to be fixed, and that's it.
Yeah, but couldn't convince them. So hey, it's not my house, but if it were my property, I would Airbnb that bad boy so quick and make so much money.
Mm-hmm.
But not everybody has the, wherewithal to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it, and this was fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Back for something else.
Okay.
I got something working in my head. I'm about to think about. I'm gonna think about it.
Okay.
But thank you for coming. This was very informative.
Yeah.
I thought everything about being a first-time home buyer, but I guess not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
thank
we
you.
We are at 47 minutes, which lately we we haven't met that time at all, so thank you for coming in and getting right to the point and helping us let people know the key steps of being a first-time home buyer and how to be a first-time home buyer again if you know that. I did not know.
I did not know that either.
Yep. If you haven't owned it for 3 years, haven't owned a house with any property for 3 years, you're a first-time home buyer again.
Wow.
Did not know that. I don't qualify, but it's good information for people to know.
And I can help anybody anywhere. So, with Keller Williams, we have offices all over the U.S., all over the world, actually. And so if, you know somebody who, in Savannah who might be looking for an agent, they're not married to anybody that, they have to have as their realtor, I can help anybody anywhere. So wherever they're moving.
Oh, that's good to know.
Good to know.
Yep.
That is very good to know. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, guys. Thanks for having me. Y'all have a good evening.
All
right.
Bye-bye.
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 We are excited. I'm excited about a potential that I see.
Yeah, that was good information. It's a lot of information I did not know.
I did too. Like I said, I did not know you could be a first-time home buyer all over again.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a good informative session. I liked it.
It was.
She can help me out wherever I am. Because you know what? Some real estate agents, the one that I had, she was trustworthy, but some real estate agents, some of them don't seem too trustworthy.
Mm-hmm. One thing said was about the energy. You're
Yeah,
right.
the energy, and I don't feel like you're trying to sell me into anything.
Mm-hmm.
You need somebody that's on your side, definitely, in the housing market.
Absolutely. Okay, so what we got next week before we roll on out?
What'd you say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said, what do we have next week before we roll on out? Do we have?
Um, I'm working on something. I'm gonna keep that a secret until next.
Okay.
I'm working on, so it's not gonna be as dramatic as the last one. Thank you.
Yes, we always will. That was good. We still got a lot of feedback from that one. We got a
Yeah,
lot of
yes.
feedback.
People still telling me, well, you should give them a chance.
Mm-hmm. Be like, that ship has sailed. We good as friends. That's how it is. We clear a lot of air.
Gone. And so our secret producer is reminding me, for those of you who will see this podcast video episode
Mm-hmm.
in the future, please like
Yes, like and share.
and share, because we're trying to do something that you know means a lot to us. We want to inspire women. We want to inspire you to do whatever it is that you want to do. Buy a home, find that love again,
Mm-hmm.
start a business, all kinds of stuff. So, like and share it. If we can continue to do this, if we can continue to inspire people, that is all that we wish to do.
Absolutely.
I will tell you a little something that I'm working on. Sheree doesn't even know this yet. We may have the opportunity in the future to go on a little tour.
Okay. I'm
Somebody in my ear and they like what we're doing. So we might
okay.
we might go on just a little tour. Just a little
I'm
tour.
game. I'm
Stay
game.
tuned and you will hear something very soon. If all goes good. So pray for us. If all goes good, you'll hear something very soon. That's all I have.
Yeah. So that sounds good. Well, we will say good night and we will see you all next week.
Next
We
week.
are here to inspire her, the total woman.
Yay!